I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Oh, no, thank you for having me.
Echoes of Yesterday is out. How does it feel to have it out into the world?
Pretty good. We've been working on this for quite some time. As the EPK and all the
Mm,
stuff about it says, this, a lot of the songs go back years and
yes,
years, to the Love and War and days. And stuff that didn't make the cut for Apocalyptic Lovers, we were like, hey, these are still good songs, what do we do
yep.
with them? And Sean and I were like, let's record them and see where this goes. And along with that, we're, hey, got some ideas for a new song, I got some music too, and we, so it just ended up being a combination of some old songs, some new songs, and then we've still got stuff in the bag waiting to come out. So
And I always look at songs as like pictures in time, just like a
yeah.
photograph you look at. And going back to these tracks, what kind of memories did it bring back to you?
Oh wow. Some of them I remember performing, in all around in the area. Um, Sometimes, I remember the very first time I heard it,
Mm,
in the practice hall, and was like, "Oh, that is a great song." And, yeah, tweaking the words, tweaking the parts. Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing that you say that, because that is exactly pictures, photographs,
sure,
songs. Everybody says, oh yeah, man, there's like reasons sometimes you like a song because
sure.
there's a memory that's associated with that, like, oh, I remember the first time I heard that I was at the
Yep.
beach, or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
And I wanted to talk about one of the new songs, and it's a great opener, Beat the Bullet. I wanted to ask if you could talk about that song.
Sure. Yeah. Well, as part of the process, Sean and I, recording these and writing stuff. I had an idea. There's a couple of songs that are also titled "Beat the Bullet" that are a couple of my favorites. One by Danger Danger and one by Vane.
Mm,
And I was listening to music and I thought that's a cool title for a song.
yeah.
And there was another song that I had been working on with someone else, that kind of had that, that kind of theme,
Mm,
hey, don't mess with me, you throw crap my way,
right.
I'll win, I'll defeat it. And so I came up with that, hey, let's write a song around that concept of, beat the bullet. And then it turned into all right, let's present this as a showdown, a
Yeah.
Western showdown. So I wrote all the lyrics, had no music. I sent them to Sean and said, "Hey, I got this concept. What do you think?" And like 3 days later, he sends back a song with, lyrics, hold all demoed out, right? And he's like, it just clicked with him, including that like spaghetti Western intro with the whistling,
Yes.
which is Sean, by the way. He told me,
Oh.
yeah, yeah, he's like, redo that whistling. I don't like it. I'm like, no, dude, it's
And
perfect.
I wanted to ask you, and going back to these tracks, what was the process and what tracks were going to get moved up into a modern sound?
Well, we basically redid all of the entire catalog, all of the stuff that
Mm.
we had not chosen to put on, to redo for
Mm-hmm.
Apocalyptic Lovers was, fair game. And so we just said, hey, let's record them. Let's, see what they come out sounding like. And, like any song, if it sounds good, we'll keep it. If not, we'll, try to continue to work on it, or we'll just go, yeah, we'll scrap it. That's not gonna make the cut. So that's that. I mean, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty much how it went.
And you've had such a great journey. I wanted to ask you, what would you tell your younger self, knowing what you know about the industry today?
Oh, man. Uh, yeah, that's a tough one. It, don't hesitate, right?
Mhm.
It's not so much how that is today, but back then it was like, I mean, it still is kind of, just that the music industry has changed so much that you're not going to
Yeah,
get signed and make $1 million and sell a million records in
right.
today's, world. But, back then it would have been, hey, take a chance. You know,
Mm.
you got something going on. Don't hesitate. Don't be afraid. It's about, make those connections, get out there and play, get your music out there. And, the more the more uh, relationships you make, the more success you're going to have.
And one of the things I find truly fascinating about your music is the ability of you guys are like one person working because it's amazing to me that you guys are apart but yet create such amazing music that gives you the feeling that the chemistry is right in the same room.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is amazing that that can happen today. And with the communication, the
Mm.
instant messaging, Facebook messaging, text messaging, you can still kind of communicate in real time,
Good.
and not and do this without, it's almost like being in the same room. Not exactly, but yeah.
And given the hint of the two new tracks, is this a look forward into that maybe there'll be an upcoming album?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. We've still got other stuff that did not make the cut. We're close to having a full album of
Good.
additional songs, a couple of older ones, but mostly new this time around.
And I wanted to ask you, we talked about the partnership. I wanted to ask you, when you guys work on a track, can you give me the formula that you guys use? The secret
Um,
sauce.
I don't know. I don't know if there is any secret sauce. It's so it's I think it's like I alluded to when I was describing Beat to Bullet. It's kind of like
Mhm.
hey, there's a connection, right? Sean will send some music, um, and say, hey, here's something I wrote. What do you think? And I'm like, oh yeah, there's definitely, I hear a chorus hook in there. I can kind of, there's some sort of feel to it. This song could be about this or that, and there's just
Mhm.
a connection with the music, or vice versa with Beat
Right.
the Bullet. Sean had a connection with the lyrics, and then crafted the music around the concept and what the lyrics were about. So yeah, if there's I think if there's no connection, it ends up on the floor.
And I thought one of the highlights to me too was also listening to your version of Tonight. I wanted to ask you,
Oh,
and looking back at that track and your performance of it, what do you want the audience to take away as the main takeaway from that track?
oh wow. Well, uh I think it's a great song. We did that because Sean, which I've known Sean for a really long time, and I know some of the other guitar influences that he's had, but
Mhm.
he never admitted, or I never knew that Randy Rhoads was one of his big idols, and that was actually the reason when he heard Randy and Ozzy, that was the
Mhm.
reason he picked up guitar and started
Wow.
playing. So full circle, here we are.
Good.
He's like, hey, and it's a song that is not. It's a really really great song. It's very emotional, um, but it's not your typical over the mountain
Sure.
crazy train, right?
Absolutely.
And I so we paid tribute to it, but tried to do it in a more modern and a different way. So there's piano in there.
Mhm.
There's stuff that you wouldn't have expected, and I think listen to the guitar on that, Sean. That when I first heard it, it's a great song. There's the piano intro. It's an emotional kind of a ballad, and then it gets to the end where there's the ride out solo. And
Yes.
when I first heard Sean play that, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that was great guitar work. So yeah, on that one, if you want to hear Sean play guitar, that's the song to listen to.
Yeah. And to me, it really makes a song take flight. And I think that's why
Yes.
it's such a perfect ending because it actually gives you the feel and the impression of flying away.
Yeah. Yeah. The song builds and builds until you get
Mhm.
that part, and then it just takes off. Yeah. I would agree with that. That's a great analogy.
And you're on the road. Talk to me about it. Where you got lined up.
Well, I'm doing a lot of different things. I'm trying to stay busy. I perform with XTB here in Pittsburgh, and we're working on an album. Apocalyptic Lovers has an album that is in the works that's coming out soon. And I'm also in, I think we selected a date working with Mike Floros and Love and Chains. Mike is also in Steel City. That album is done, and I think we picked a date in October. So look for some news for that coming.
Yeah, and I love the Steel City material.
Oh
And it's
yeah,
always a pleasure speaking with Mike. He's so passionate about everything he does.
yes he is. Yeah, Mike's a great guy.
And I wanted to ask you as well, with all these projects going on, what do you feel is the thing that helps you most with like I've interviewed Joel Holkster and he's got like five different bands going on and
Right, right.
when I interviewed him, I'm like, how the fuck you know where you're going? What city you're in, what town you're in, because you're flying to this project, you're flying to the next one. What keeps it all in mind for you?
Uh, I don't know. I guess as I've gotten older, I've kind of gotten a system of like organization and trying to
Hmm.
keep writing things down, keeping things in spreadsheets and, just trying to keep things organized. But yeah, there are times when I'm like, I feel like
Where am I?
where's the stage? Hello, Cleveland, wait, dude, you're not in Cleveland. Oh, where am I? Yeah.
And you're originally from Ohio, is that correct?
Originally from the Youngstown, Warren area, yes, and now I'm in Pittsburgh. Yep.
I'm in Ohio. I'm in Massillon, Ohio.
Right. Yep. Home of the Tigers.
Yes. And I wanted to ask you through this journey, what has been some of the most memorable moments along your career?
Oh, wow. Um, there's lots, but I don't know, just opening performing with certain bands, there were some great clubs that we played where there was thousands of people,
Hmm.
um and just having, just remembering those gigs and that
Sure.
that crowd energy and just, feeling like, man, I could climb Mount Everest right now,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
And now this amazing album is out. What's the best way to get a physical copy of it or any merchandise that you have?
Well, unfortunately, we did not do any physical. I'm hoping that maybe, as things progress, we can redo and do physical. We definitely want to do physical on the next one. But we're kind of new and, so
Right.
we're independent, so it's just streaming. But you can find, if you want to download the MP3s, you can find us on Bandcamp. And if you go to kanerocks.com, there's links to everything there where you can get to, all the streaming sites. There's merch for sale as well. We've got a store with t-shirts and that kind of thing out there. So kanerocks.com.
Excellent. And lastly, I wanted to ask you if you could give a message to your fans, what message would you give them?
Oh, wow. Go listen. Help us out. Yeah, no, I mean, this is why we do it.
Sure.
You were talking about, what do you remember, in the past? And, that's exactly when we perform, we play, we're creative. So to have people, send us a message, hey, I listened to that song, or even to be
Yeah,
having you say, hey, can I have you on podcast? Want to talk? Your album was great. I mean, that's that feedback from fans and people who just enjoy listening to the music and what we create is that's a gift, really.
absolutely.
And
And I think what's great about it is the musical community. It always sticks for each other. We all work together and help each other out along the way.
that is true. That is true.
I wanted to take a moment to thank you for creating an album that I enjoyed from top to bottom, my friends.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm glad you like it.
And I love the feel of the album throughout. And if this is a sign of what's coming ahead, I can't wait for it, my friend.
Nice. Well, let me ask you a question. What is your favorite song?
My favorite song was the redo of Tonight.
Okay, that's
It-
cool.
just because of the fact that there's certain songs you're like, you know, like you go, whoa, man, I would never lay my hands on that, and to hear you do such a wonderful interpretation of the song really stood out to me because, I've heard so many people do cover a track and it's just, man, I'm like, you just fucking turn this track to shit. You know what I mean? And,
Right. Yeah.
and, and what you've done with that song is just absolutely amazing. I've listened to it 3 times a day already, just because of that sheer fact. I love the way you brought the emotions out in that track.
Nice. Thank you. That's good to hear because it's interesting there, uh reviewers and different folks, it seems that all of the people who do reviews and things like that are against like so against covers. And I get that, right? But it's kind of like, okay, dude, let us do a cover. We
Yeah,
all grew up listening to other bands, so
sure.
we all
Right.
played covers, before we did our original stuff, and there's certain
Absolutely.
stuff that we connected with.
Absolutely.
So like, do you really have to knock the cover? So we put one
Right.
cover on our album. Come on, give us a break. But
And how
I
many great,
appreciate that.
and we've had so many great covers, but we've also had so many bad ones too.
That is
Yeah.
true. And you should know as a musician, if it's a bad cover,
Yeah.
don't put it on the
Yeah,
album.
right.
You should be able to recognize, hey, this is really good and unique, and it should go on. Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought, number one, because of the textures of this track, and just because, in my opinion, it's a ballsy move with everything that's happened with Ozzy to come out and do a cover, you know, and you nailed it, man. Absolutely.
Thank you.
But yeah, thank you for speaking with me. I hope we can talk about the next album, my friend.
Oh, that would be awesome.
And
Absolutely.
I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much. You
All
as
right,
well.
take care, my friend.
All right. Rock on.
Rock on.